I'm Peter Jurcso, and I would like to ask who has followed my presentation in the morning? Okay, so half of you. It means that I still have to have a bit of summary. So, I'm Hungarian, and I'm working for CERN for the last 25 years. I'm based in Geneva, Switzerland, and I seen my first EAM work order 13 years ago. And I spent the last 8 years working with our EAM team on EAM, on providing solutions for our internal clients as an internal business analyst, and also the engineer who is put in place the corresponding configurations of the application for the user needs. And today I will speak about our open source components to extend a bit the possibilities of the HxGN EAM. So, very briefly, what is CERN? We are the world's largest physics laboratory, founded in 1954 after the Second World War. Our mission is providing infrastructure for the physicists, and with that we are allowing them to study what's really inside the matter, how is our universe is working. For that we are building giant machines with hundreds of thousands of assets in it. Additionally, they are having a very long lifespan, like between design and decommission, we can easily have a 50-year period. So we have to really cover with data and keep it. We need a collaboration. We have lots of people on site. We have roughly 10,000 people in the peak. And from this 10,000, roughly 2,000 are contractors who are still using EAM for us. And overall, we have collaborations with more than 80 countries around the world. Our HxGN usage, the numbers from last year, we are speaking about slightly more than 3 million equipments, assets, positions, and systems. Roughly 350,000 work orders in a year, 100,000 of part references, 150,000 store transactions, 3,600 users logged in during last year, and we have 0 customization on the software. But also we need something which is sometimes not out of the box. HxGN EAM is a great open and scalable product, and we are really happy to rely on it, because I'm sure in your practice you've seen things which are acting like a black box. You are throwing things in, eventually you have your fishing rod and you can pull out something, but you really don't know how things are working and integrating. In case of the EAM, we have the possibility that we can integrate because they are providing lots of connections. And one of these are the HxGN EAM web services. It's a toolkit, it's a framework, which is containing an easy-to-manage 2,900 different web services. 2,900, probably if you would like to have a development, this is not your first idea to drop this thing on your developers and try to attack it. So we try to find a solution first for our needs to somehow simplify this with our integrations, and let's see where we ended up with it. First, as I said, EAM has lots of services. In the first time, these have been only SOAP web services until the arriving of the version 12 of the EAM. And the SOAP web services have been everything but simple and easy to use from the developer perspective. And we've seen the problem for our developers, and this is why we developed something which we're calling the EAM Web Service Hub, which is practically bridging between the web services provided by the system and the developers in a way to be able to have simpler web services. Now with the version 12, the REST web services arrived to the EAM world, and that can help lots of things. And we still kept a possibility for have the backward compatibility to have a web service hub which is able to speak to pre-EAM 12 installations. Any of you have an installation which is not on 12 or 12.1 in the room? Or everybody is already on 12? Okay. So, for us to have the possibility of these additional development interface helped enormously to scaling up the general usage of the EAM. First, we have the integration possibility with other tools, because we are relying on our operational systems, we are communicating to our ERP, we are collecting data from IoT and from other devices. And also, this allowed us to have the possibility to build a simplified, specific user interface which is corresponding to our needs. And I'm very, very happy to share with you that these things are available as open source components. So you can take it, you can use it, or even you can adapt it depending on your need. And you will have the possibility to eventually increase your EAM usage in your organization. For us, the need of the EAM Lite was coming from the different user profiles. I'm absolutely sure you are fully aware that if you are having a maintenance manager who is sitting in the office and you have a field worker, they will need completely different things and completely different interfaces to work efficiently and to have the impression that they are not wasting their time having an additional tool and not able to work. You also know that the EAM is providing a wide variety of functionalities, but probably we are not sure that a maintenance manager will be interested how the interface with contract management is working, or to see what's necessary for a store transaction. They want to schedule, they want to have a work done. And the field worker, not interested in anything else, what I have to do and how can I do it at the simplest, most efficient way to solve the problems and satisfy my boss. They don't care about the rest. So the idea was to have something which is a simple and intuitive tool. Eventually, you can give to somebody without training at all or very little information to do their jobs at the most efficient way. When we are speaking about the EAM Lite, I'm always stopping for a second, because if you have experience and you are very happy with your existing mobile applications like Digital Works, Asset Move, EAM Offline, or anything else, this is a point when you should stop listening and probably follow another session, because this is not for you. You have a working solution, what you are happy with. You don't want to suggest anything else for you. But if you don't have that, maybe this is an idea to complement the existing EAM suite that we are using and have a solution which is giving new things with relatively little initial effort on your side. Imagine that you are getting a new interface where everything is coming from your existing settings. All the access rights, all the availability of the fields from the screen designer, the languages, boiler text, all these things are coming from the system. You don't have to configure a single thing. And this will allow you to have an easy start without spending too much time on thinking how a mobile or a simplified interface will work for you. In our practice, we have lots of users who are starting just with EAM Lite. They say, we have few assets, we have the corresponding parts, we are having work orders, we are not interested in this whole big thing which takes ages to learn and additional ages to masters. We need something simple. And as they start to work with EAM Lite, they will see, okay, this is nice, but maybe I would like to have PM schedules, but that's something more complicated and that requires another interface to do it. But they already started the application, they're using EAM, they are on the train, and they would like to just expand the usage. It's also an important question how you can use this. And to be able to use EAM Lite, you will need connector licenses. If we have all users who started to use the product, say at the beginning of 2000, in many cases they have bundles where they have normal EAM licenses plus connector licenses on the side. For the recent users, they have to ensure that they are contacting their sales reps and buying the corresponding connector licenses to be able to use EAM Lite. The idea on the other side for the EAM Lite is the distribution. How many of you had issue with a contractor who said you cannot install any additional application on their devices? You had that situation. And with the case of the EAM Lite, you don't have to install anything. It's like the EAM-based product. You have a URL. You open the URL in your browser on your device. No installation, no distribution, no upgrade process, just opening your browser. And this is extremely important in these situations when you are working with contractors, or even when you are asking your own employee to use their own devices. They don't want to install something, no problem, they can just use in a browser. When we have a look on the EAM Lite, now some of you will have a very funny feeling. This looks very much like digital works. Who has this impression? Yes. EAM Lite was before digital works. So we are very proud that certain ideas that we put in place seemed interesting for at that time Infor to take it over and integrate in the same environment. For us, the idea was coming from our user experience, how our users acted. And the main functionality on the start screen, you see that huge search field in the middle. For us, it was always a question, okay, I'm looking for my stuff, but I don't know if it's an asset or a position. And we have an integrated search when we are looking if it could be a part, it could be an asset, it could be a position, it could be a system, or it could be a work order. So in the background, when the user types something in, we start the different searches to ensure that we are finding the things what they are looking for. But it could be very easily that the technician not even searching for something, they will be just interested, what is my work, what I have to do. And I just look on the list of their open work orders and work with that. They're not interested in the additional functionalities. They're not going further, okay, this is my work, but what is the work for my other colleagues who are doing with the same service unit? Or I'm not interested in the work orders in general. And also, we have the functionality correspondingly to the equipment and also for the materials. I'm sure you are using lots of grids with lots of data spies in your EAM system. These things are also available in EAM Lite. You can display them, and you can use the predefined filters of your existing data spies to search either in the standard elements of the EAM or data which is displayed through your own custom grids. When we started first with EAM Lite, we hadn't really cared about the structure. We eventually showed what are the parents, but later we got the request, okay, it's very nice that I have an equipment somewhere, but I would like to see what is the relation, because probably when I'm having an issue here, it's either propagated to the parents or it's affecting all other equipment at the same level of the tree. So we added the possibility of the navigation of the equipment structure, which is corresponding to the same information what you are getting on your structure tab of your equipment. And here you can navigate up and down to be able to see what is the relation between the different elements of your equipment structure put together. In the work order functionality, first we started really with the basics, but now you see on the right that all the elements which are usually appearing in the daily activity of a field worker, we made available. We have the scheduling information, the closing codes to ensure that they can provide structured information of the finishing of the work order. We can possibility to add the part usage, because as we heard in some presentations earlier, if you have a work order and you have no part usage, that's not maintenance, that's something else. We have the possibility to see the children. I'm sure you are all using multiple equipment child work orders to have this, the structure and having all the information available also on the children. We are having our document management system integrated, the standard non-conformity functionality from EAM, the commands, the activities, it means reading the work order, including with the booking of the labor and having the hours for the employees in it, the checklists, and the eventual custom fields of the work order. With this, all the information is available, and you see those are little tick boxes. It means the field worker or the technician can select those sections which are important for him and hide the rest. Probably they will not care about, say, documents or non-conformities. They will be interested in the checklist, eventually the comments, and they don't need the rest. They can do it, and on their device, it will be just that amount of information available and nothing else. I already mentioned a bit the booking of the labor. So you see here highlighted the activities and book labor tab inside the EAM, how it looks like on a tablet or on a PC screen. And you see the two buttons to add either a new activity or add labor hours on the existing ones. But when you see this, it's probably the question how the field worker will do this thing on the spot and not being back to the headquarters. So on the mobile version, it looks slightly more concentrated. So they can just take the phone, what they used already for the work, and they can enter their hours. They can choose who is the employee, if maybe there are two of them on the mission and only one of them did the work, which is a service unit, when it was done, it is what kind of hours, if it's normal, it's overtime, it's some urgent intervention, and of course the time itself. We started to very, very heavily use checklists, because that's a very good way on one side to provide structured information on the work orders, what has happened, and also in many situations simply replace paper or other kind of documentation, because you have a step-by-step instruction what the technician should do. And this is why the EAM Lite, one of the highlights is really to have the checklist in place. You can see that these checklist items are corresponding to the normal functionality that you have in EAM. We have the possibility to add comments right away if something is not completely how the technician is expecting that. And now we even have the functionality to mark checklist items to follow up for the creation of the corresponding follow-up work orders. And as you can see, this is available in a small screen like on the phone, but of course it could be viewed on bigger ones. And in the background, nothing save necessary. Every time when an information is entered into the field, the application is trying to push it back to the server right away to ensure that the workers are not losing data because they're forgetting to press on the save button. Especially you have long checklists with tens of questions, it could happen very, very easily. I'm sure you are all using notifications, you are sending emails, text messages to managers, to field workers. And it would be very nice to be able to just say, okay, this is the direct link, this is the equipment, this is the work order, And with the EAM Lite, we have a structured link approach where you can address directly any elements available in the EAM Lite. If I'm speaking about an asset, a work order, a part, or even you can parameterize creation processes when you create a work order and an asset, or creating something specifically with a standard work order. And from a URL, you can very easily create a QR code and make it on the equipment. On the picture, it's quite small, but you can see that this is a gas distribution point, and we have two actions put there for the technicians. One is for the verification of the delivery, and the other one is for confirmation of connections. They are just flashing the QR with the phone. It will open EAM Lite, it will create the corresponding work order, and then they just have to fill out the minimum information on it. So if I have to summarize the EAM Lite, it's really the idea to have something which is highly configurable based on the existing rights, layouts, and even we are supporting clone screens. So if you have multiple versions of a screen because of access or other kind of functionality, EAM Lite supports this. And it's really a flexible way to deploy this thing for the users, because really no client installation online, so you don't have synchronization issues, and it can be run on anything which has a recent web browser. The question, hopefully you like it, you want to have it now. Yes? Okay, let's see how quickly you can have it. We have a link to the GitHub where you have the source code of everything. So it's completely open source, and if you have a regulatory requirement, for example, you have a client which is working for DOE, and they don't like when something is just appearing, they would like to know what's happening in the background. You can give it, okay, this is a source code, have a look, this is what we run. It's under GPL free license. You have to have your connector licenses, and which is very nice that you can use it in the cloud, on-premise, and even if you have an old version of the installation, even with pre-12.0 on-premise installations. And practically, you just need a server which is able to run a Docker container with a single command. Unfortunately, here I cannot have a real live demo, but I recorded real time to see how much time is necessary for the first time startup of the EAM Lite container from scratch. I have to download the zip file, which is containing the Docker image, and I have to extract it. This is probably 10 seconds. Then I have the most difficult step in the whole installation process. I have to create a helper grid, which is exactly this grid. It should look exactly like this with those fields, aliases, everything. Because this will create the connection between your screen layout with the information and the fields and the access rights for the EAM Lite. And when you have that, then you just have to start the image first time from your command line. What I'm doing, I will just run the container, I'm specifying the port, and I'm specifying what is the connection URL of the EWS connector of the HxGN EAM instance that you are having, and let's start. This is real time. And this is the first start of the instance. You say download stuff, upgrades, configures, putting together all the packages which are required to have it, and to start all the elements of the service in the background, and it was done. And then I can log in, providing my credentials, my organization, and my tenant to end up on EAM Lite. So a real-time installation with the thing which is available probably will take you 5 minutes plus the creation of the grid. So try it today. So, and if you need the information on the technical side, we have a website on the whole documentation on the open source. We have the web services documentation specifically, and we have the GitHub URL from where you can download the Docker image, which is ready to be run on any computer with the Docker environment. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you have some questions.
Buckle up, Peter. We got a lot of questions.
Okay, very good. Let's start with the first one.
So first one's coming from Jamie Hobar. Can a user or system admin create a data spy in EAM Lite?
No. This should be done in the EAM-based product. But then it can be selected, and the fields which are appearing in the data spy could be used as in the normal filter mode in the base product.
Fantastic. Jamie asks again, she's got a few, so. Are there any plans to expand EAM Lite to include case management module?
We haven't foreseen the case management. For our own usage, we have another interface what we are calling the operational logbook, which is based on the case management. But because that's connecting at so many points into our other systems, we are not planning it currently to make it open source. Fantastic. She's asked again, is Screen Designer available in EAM Lite? No. But everything which is done with the screen configuration in the base product, that will be reflected in EAM Lite. One remark, we don't have all the fields available. We are just have the mostly used field based on our experience. Probably in a later version, it will be extended to have all the fields available on the corresponding screens.
Wonderful. Michaela Edwards asked, are workers creating NCRs on work orders, or are the NCRs reference documents from the design fabrication process? Okay, these are, in our case, these are the non-conformities which are created in the EAM Lite, and they also have the possibility to see the NCRs which are previously created for the same equipment. Fantastic. Jackie Harrison has asked, is this still being enhanced?
Yes. We are continuously working on it to have more functionality and a better experience, as for the developers, as for the users.
Wonderful. And last I have, again from Jackie, what language is it written in?
This is written in Java.
Fantastic. Well, that is all the questions that have been submitted. Give you an opportunity for anybody else on the floor to ask a question.
Yes?
How many developers?
We are having roughly 4 developers who are working with EAM Lite, but this is not their exclusive job. They are doing other kind of developments. Yes? John?
It shows hard screens, but your overlay for the part screen, does that maybe, can you just use that for a little bit? Like where you just get checkout part and automatically check it out and pack it forward?
Yes. What we have as possibility, but unfortunately I cannot demo it here, but when we are going over to the hotel, I can show it. We have the functionality when you are having a work order. You can add part usage on a work order, where you have to select the store, the part, the quantity, eventually the asset code if it's a part track by asset, and the activity where you are attaching inside the work order. That functionality is part of the open source part of the EAM Lite. So you can do the most important thing. And for all the fields where you have the possibility to enter a code, you also have a built-in barcode reader, which is reading normal barcodes, QRs, and data matrix, just with the camera of the phone. Yes, in the back.
So when I'm logging in EAM Lite, I mean, what is you doing is logging into EAM.
Exactly. The difference that when you are logging into the EAM Lite, you are using eventually a connector license. It means that on the user setup page, you have to ensure that the user has the connector field ticked. And it means that you can have a situation when a user has just access to EAM Lite with the connector, but has no access to the main product. Okay, in this case, if it's no more question, thank you very much for your attention. And I will be over at in the hotel in the lobby next to the big pots of the coffee, and there, because we have Wi-Fi, I can show you how these things are working really, because I'm sure you would like to see certain things in the reality, not just on the slides. Thank you.